Today's story is based on a true incident that takes place after World War I, when the condition of the world had become very bad. During that time, a husband and wife leave everything behind and come to live on a completely deserted island. The man's name is Ritter, and from time to time he writes letters through which the world learns how he is surviving there. Many years later, we are shown another family, a husband and wife named Heinz Margaret and their son Harry, who sell all their property and decide to move to the same island. In fact, Heinz is deeply inspired by Ritter's way of life, and after reaching the island, he directly goes to meet Ritter's wife and tells her that Dr. Ritter's letters have become very famous in Germany. However, Ritter and his wife are not happy to see them. After this, Ritter takes Heinz into his garden and tells him to go back, clearly trying to scare him away. But Heinz is not willing to leave. Then Ritter takes them near a cave and says that they can live there, but warns them that there is very little water in this place. Survival is only possible by collecting rainwater. After Ritter leaves, the entire family starts working hard so that when the rainy season arrives, they can store as much water as possible. They build a pipeline so that rainwater can flow into a pit and be collected. One night, Dora tells her husband that she is not happy about the arrival of this new family and feels they should not have been brought to the island. Ritter replies that he has left them in a place where neither crops can grow nor water can be found, and believes they are only temporary guests who will leave soon. On the other side, Margaret struggles through her nights with great difficulty. Strange insects and the sounds of wild animals do not let her sleep. During this time, we also learn that she is 3 months pregnant, which makes Heinz very happy. Both families continue with their daily routines. One day, they suddenly hear the sound of a cannon blast. When they look, they see a large boat heading toward the island. After some time, the boat reaches the shore, and a woman named Eloise steps off. 2 men, Robert and Rudy, who admire her, are also with her. After seeing the beauty of the island, Eloise starts thinking about building a luxurious resort there. During this, she learns that a doctor lives on the island whose letters have become very famous. So she goes to meet Dora and tells her about her plan to build a luxury resort on the island. Just then, Ritter comes out and asks them where they are staying. When Eloise says they are staying near the seashore, Ritter takes them to another place. In the next scene, we see all of them bathing with clean water that Heinz has arranged. When Ritter sees this, he gets angry. Eloise apologizes and then tells him that they are his new neighbors and that they plan to build a luxury resort there. At the same time, she hands over some letters that had arrived from the city, saying these were meant for Ritter as well. When Heinz takes the letters to Ritter, he notices that they are already opened and assumes that Heinz must have read them first. But in reality, this was done by Eloise. Because of this, Ritter confronts her and asks why she is trying to create conflict between the 2 neighbors. Eloise replies that she has nothing to do with it and claims that it was one of the neighbors who told them about the water source and said they could bathe there. Heinz now understands that Ritter does not want them to stay on the island. He looks at the full resort plan that Eloise shows him. But Heinz does not believe that something so grand can actually be built in such a strange and harsh place. Eloise does not like his reaction and leaves angrily. One day, when Ritter has nothing to eat, he goes to Heinz's place. Heinz has hunted a wild animal for food, and seeing Ritter's condition, he gives him some meat. Time slowly passes, and the rainy season begins. By now, Heinz has fully prepared his house, and they even have vegetables to eat. On the other side, Rudy is unable to achieve anything despite many attempts, and he returns to the camp where Robert and Eloise are together. Seeing Rudy, Eloise tells him to go and bring some food. Rudy angrily replies that they have neither food nor drinking water left, and because of her, they are all stuck there. He says she is only dreaming, and hearing this, Eloise runs into the jungle crying. Meanwhile, back at the house, Margaret is working alone when Manuel and Robert secretly watch her from a distance. Suddenly, Margaret feels severe pain in her stomach, so she tries to move forward to get help. Taking advantage of this moment, the 2 men sneak into her house from behind, but they are unable to steal much because Margaret returns. She then struggles alone, trying to give birth to her child by herself. The 2 men watch her but do not help. Suddenly, Margaret hears dogs barking loudly outside. When she goes out, she sees that wild dogs are attacking. While trying to chase them away, she gets trapped herself. The pain keeps increasing, and she collapses on the ground, giving birth to her baby right there. Some of the dogs even try to attack the newborn, but Heinz arrives just in time and saves them. At the same time, the two men steal food supplies and return to Eloise. They tell her that Margaret gave birth to the child all alone, but Eloise refuses to let them go back to help. A panicked Heinz rushes to Dr. Ritter, and Dora immediately tells him to bring Margaret inside. Ritter begins her treatment, and after some time, Margaret finally gets relief. Manuel witnesses all of this from outside and goes to tell Eloise everything. She scolds him, saying that if the two families become friendly, her plans will fail. Manuel responds that whatever she came here dreaming of will never be completed. As time passes, the entire island begins to dry up because the hot season has arrived. Meanwhile, a starving Rudy reaches Heinz's house, and seeing his condition, Heinz gives him food. During this time, Rudy tells them the full truth about Eloise, that she is only inspired by movies and treats herself like a fictional character, believing that everyone is her servant. Most importantly, she does not want Heinz and Ritter to come together. Meanwhile, another ship is seen approaching the island. A man named Alan arrives with a research team. As soon as Eloise sees him, she comes out wearing an elegant dress, believing he might be her way off the island. She starts trying to charm him. In reality, Alan has come at Ritter's request and has brought supplies with him because he wanted to meet Ritter and closely observe his way of living in nature. That night, Alan hosts a small gathering where he praises Ritter's courage and abilities, talking about how his writings inspire the world and how hard work always brings rewards. He congratulates Margaret on the birth of her child and, in the end, also compliments Eloise's beauty. During this, Eloise learns that Alan is a famous director with a lot of money, and she becomes even more determined to trap him. She sees herself as completely alone and in need of support. But Alan clearly tells her that he has no interest in her and only respects her. The next day, Alan leaves on his ship without even meeting her again. Seeing this, Eloise is completely shattered. She cannot believe that someone has rejected her. One day, when Ritter returns from hunting, he discovers that all the food he had given to Alan has been stolen by Eloise. This becomes the final straw for him. He goes straight to Heinz so that the two of them can confront her together. Both of them stand outside Eloise's tent with a gun and demand that she return everything she stole. Eloise refuses and, looking at Heinz, says that the man he is helping might later end up eating him. She tries once again to create conflict between the two men, which has been her goal from the beginning. At that moment, Robert comes out holding a gun and points it at them. However, Margaret arrives just in time and calms the situation, telling everyone to go back to their homes. After returning, Ritter angrily smashes his typewriter and leaves to go hunting. At Margaret's house, Rudy comes asking for food, and outside Eloise calls him over. Crying, she tells him that if he wants to leave, he is free to go. The two of them end up kissing. Later that night, Heinz suddenly wakes up after hearing someone screaming outside. When he goes out to check, he realizes that someone is stealing their water, so he fires a shot. But it turns out to be Dora's horse, which they end up killing. They know that if Dora finds out about this, she will kill them. The next day, Dora discovers that all her chickens have fallen sick and her horse is nowhere to be seen. She goes to Margaret's house to ask about it, but everyone stays silent. Dora suddenly collapses, and Heinz carries her back to her home, where Ritter is also present. As they're talking, they sense that someone is nearby. When they step outside, they see Robert spying on them. At that moment, they understand that everything has been done by Eloise. As they start heading toward her camp, they run into Rudy, who finally tells them the truth, that he was the one who stole Dora's horse because Eloise ordered him to do it. After this, Heinz sends his wife and son to gather firewood, while he goes with Ritter toward Eloise's tent and calls everyone to come outside. Suddenly, Robert comes out and attacks them, trying to kill Rudy, but Heinz grabs him and stabs him with a knife, killing him. At that moment, a terrified Eloise comes out of the tent and starts tempting them again with promises of a resort and wealth. But Ritter shoots Eloise, ending it all. The sound of the gunshot reaches to Margaret, and afterward, they dispose of the bodies by throwing them into the sea. In the next scene, Rudy goes to both houses and tells them that Eloise and Robert have left the island. But Margaret and Heinz already know the truth. They understand that both of them are dead because all of Eloise's belongings are still there. Margaret tells her husband that she is sure Ritter killed them. She warns Heinz that Ritter is very clever and could get him sent to jail, but Heinz is disturbed and tells her to let it go. Margaret makes it clear that she will not abandon her family and leave the island like this. On the other side, Dora has become fed up with Ritter. She decides that she wants to leave him and go far away. Ritter tries to stop her, but Dora says that he has changed and is no longer the man who came here with ideals and purpose. She runs into the jungle, where she meets Margaret. Margaret tells Dora that Eloise was murdered and that it was done by her husband, but Dora refuses to believe her. Later, we see Rudy spotting a boat. The captain takes him aboard, giving him a way off the island. For Ritter, this becomes new material to write about, and he shares this with Dora. Dora suggests that they should celebrate. She cooks food using her sick chickens and feeds Ritter. Shortly after that, she goes to Margaret's family and tells them that her husband is very ill. Everyone rushes to help, but Margaret immediately understands what has happened. Soon after, Ritter dies. A few months later, a governor arrives on the island. Before dying, Ritter had written letters to the governor, trying to frame Heinz so that he could remain alone on the island forever. The governor questions everyone, but in the end, no clear conclusion is reached, and he leaves. Dora also leaves with him, while Heinz and his entire family stay behind. The island becomes their permanent home, and with this, the story comes to an end.